Hello, this is the one and only business lawyer. Let's talk about the future of Battlezone map making. Now, I got a lot of help with this one. I've essentially created a Blender plugin that allows you to sculpt, import, and export Battlezone map files to and from the application. So you can edit your maps in here, bring them into Blender, edit them there, bring them back. It's it's nice. It's nice compared to the initial offerings. Special thanks goes out to Divide by Zero for providing me the code that actually lets me open up and read HD2 files. I'm pretty sure this plugin would not have it wouldn't exist without their contributions. So big thanks to them. So let's get into it and why we need a better map zone editor to begin with. So, uh, this editor is a product of its time. It was amazing when it first came out, back in 1999. It was actually my introduction to computer graphics. But nowadays, it's dated. It's very limited, and there's just way better 3D tools out there nowadays. So I can move terrain up and down. I can move each vertex point. I can make lumpy terrain. Um, but whenever you want to do anything that involves like large sections of the map or adjustments to a lot of things at once, these tools just don't cut it. Like I can't even smooth large sections of my map at once. I have to do it one vertex at a time, which really sucks. So we have that problem, and yeah, there's just not a whole lot to work with here. So let's take these changes and save them into a BZN file. So I'm just gonna scroll all the way down here, and let's see. I think this was boltsd26.bzn. I'll just save that, and we'll just alt tab straight into Blender. Now, this plugin is called BZMapIO. The download link that you're going to find in the YouTube description is going to be, a zip file containing these two files. Just dump them into your, anywhere you can get to it. And to to install this plugin, you'd want to open up the blend file and then go into Edit, Preferences, Add-ons, and click the Install button, and just install the .py file. You want to enable the import-export option, and this appears in the Layout tab of your interface in this little sidebar menu. There are two options. You can either import a map or export it. So let's go ahead and import a map. We're going to import the one that we're actually in right now, number 26. And once it loads, we can actually see that the changes that we made in the editor are actually there. So we can see practically everything. Now, I did put in a few reference models that you can just shove around in the map. These don't do anything, but they can give you a sense of scale if you just move them around, and you can place them wherever you may feel is helpful. You can even enable the magnet option so that the things that you shove around will actually orient with the terrain. So that's pretty cool. So we know how big everything is relative to each other. So we know that this hill is about as big as this recycler. All right. So let's say that we want to do something simple. Let's get rid of the reference materials for right now. And let's just say, you know what? I just want to get rid of this hill. Let's just make the center of Canyon Madness completely flat. So we're going to make sure that our terrain is selected and go into the sculpting tab. And we have access to all of Blender's sculpting tools. I really hate Blender. I hate a lot of aspects about it. I think it's a terrible application in many aspects. However, it does also simultaneously have a lot of redeeming qualities, and sculpting is one of them. So let's start. Oh, and one more thing. I've set it up automatically so that all of these tools um, lock lock onto the z-axis, which means that when you're using these tools, um, they will not move the terrain in a way that Battlezone doesn't understand. Like, you're not going to be able to just pull out terrain to the side because, Battlezone's terrain can only go up or down. It cannot move sideways. So I've set up the tools so that they only conform to this standard. So when you use the flatten tool, for example, wherever you click is where it will flatten. And I can just flatten everything here. So there we go. So now this entire area is flat. Like, imagine how long it would take you to do this, otherwise. Like, you'd have to, there's a lot of clicks involved. But let's say that we're happy with this change. We want to see what this looks like. So I'm just going to go ahead and click the Export Map button, give it a couple of seconds, and it's done. So now what we can do is just load into our map, restart the mission, and we see our changes. Exactly. Pixel perfect. Isn't it great? Yeah. It even updates the map thumbnail for you too. So like, you don't have to go through and delete your LGT file for the mini map in the lower left corner to update. It just freaking works. All right. So let's make some more changes. We're just going to Alt tab back in the Blender, and let's say that I don't know, we're going to do the draw thing and press the F key to scale our brush up and down, and click to confirm. And let's say that we want to make like a little circle here. Okay, there you go. Export. Tab back into the game, restart. And there we go. We have our edit in place. So I think this is a really good workflow to have. It's basically like, okay, now I can just jump into the game and immediately test my changes. I have the benefit of modern sculpting tools at my benefit, so that big changes don't have to be a huge deal anymore. A lot of the game's existing methods for editing maps are, they're quite dated. Like, who wants to use an image to edit their map? Like, it's a smart way to do it, but it's not an artistically friendly way to do it. So I much prefer being able to just go in, make whatever changes I want, and just make it freaking work. So and we can essentially just load any HD2 map into here. So we can load in like the Pac-Man map, make changes to that, change whatever you want around, make fixes. Like, for example, the Highland Siege map. One of my biggest complaints is the fact that it's just, look how lumpy this is, and yeah, it's lumpy. So you could just go into the sculpting tab and just like freaking use the smooth tool and just go to town with it. Just smooth everything out so that you can actually drive over this stuff. So there's a lot of sculpting tools here. I think only a small handful of these are actually like things that you would want to use in the Battlezone editor, though. I recommend just experimenting with all of these and seeing what they do. Some of them are quite subtle. Other ones are a little bit more pronounced. So, it's there's just a lot of new tools at your disposal, and you're going to have to discover them all. So you can make some really crazy pieces of terrain with this tool. All right, so one other thing that I want to mention here is that there are some rules that you're going to have to follow. So I've enabled the reference materials again because Battlezone maps can only be the hills in Battlezone can only have a maximum height of 409.5 meters. So that means if you can see these two black squares here, these denote the maximum and minimum height of your terrain. If your terrain goes beneath this area, when you go to save your map, it's going to tell you that a spot on your map exceeds the minimum or maximum height allowed. Adjust it and try again. And that's what this is referring to. Your map cannot go below or above this threshold. So do keep that in mind as you're working on it. And yeah. And also, like the other thing is the smaller your map is, the faster it'll load, obviously. So, only make your map as large as you need it to be. And yeah, I think that's about it. I think this is a real game-changing tool. And in my case, I kind of needed this tool personally because, like, the map that I'm working on actually uses a 3D mesh instead of Battlezone's terrain, and I just simply did not have a way to exactly match that terrain to my map until just now, like literally just now. So yeah. So again, big thanks to Divide by Zero and the Battlezone community for helping me out with this. Like, I can't wait to see what everybody makes with this awesome tool. Thank you.